You've been told for years that muscles fade with age like colors in the sun, that after 60 the best you can do is slow the decline. That story sounds reasonable until you look at how the body actually behaves at night. While you sleep, your muscles never clock out. They repair tiny tears, refill energy stores, and decide whether to keep or surrender the tissue you worked hard to build. The choice they make depends on signals you control in the last 2 hours of your day. How you eat, how you move, how you breathe, how you set the stage for sleep. Tonight I want to give you a simple, repeatable bedtime routine that speaks the language your muscles understand. It is not a boot camp and it is not a supplement shopping list. It is a sequence designed for a real life after 60, short, gentle and powerful because it aligns with nature's timing instead of fighting it. If you practice it most nights, you will feel steadier on stairs, more confident standing from low seats, and less hollow in your thighs in the morning. Muscle loss is not a calendar event, it is a communication problem. This routine teaches you how to send the right message before your head meets the pillow. Let's name the problem clearly and quickly. After midlife, the body's build and repair switch grows harder of hearing. You eat the way you used to, you move the way you always have, and yet the alarm clock seems to steal a few more fibers each year. The technical term is anabolic resistance. Your muscles require a stronger, clearer signal to start rebuilding. Two things make that signal louder: a steady trickle of amino acids in your bloodstream while you sleep and a quiet nervous system that allows growth hormones to do their work. A third element decides whether the first two will matter: a tiny dose of tension in the muscle groups you most want to protect, sent within an hour or two of bedtime so your body knows where to spend the night's resources. The worst thing you can do for muscle maintenance in later life is nothing all day: a big dinner very late, alcohol to help sleep, and a late night scroll that steals the first deep sleep cycle. The best thing you can do is the opposite: short movement that wakes your muscle fibers without waking your nervous system. A modest protein-centered snack that trickles fuel through the night, a wind down that protects your first deep sleep, and a bedroom ritual that tells inflammation to quiet down while repair gets the spotlight. You do not need perfection, you need consistency. Here is the routine. Think of it as an 8-step arc that starts 90 minutes before bed and ends when you draw the covers up. You can do the whole arc or the part that fits your evening. Even 3 or 4 steps practice most nights will move the needle. The secret is order. Each step sets up the next. About 90 minutes before bedtime, dim your environment, lower the lights, switch screens to a warm setting, and decide when the kitchen closes. Your brain's sleep clock loves darkness, and your muscles love the deep, early sleep that darkness protects. Bright light at night delays melatonin, pushes deep sleep later, and steals the very window when the body likes to push overnight repair forward. If you can turn down overhead lights and turn on 2 or 3 warm lamps, you will feel your shoulders drop. That drop is the first cue that your nervous system is moving from go to grow. At the same time, think about fluids. Many people over 60 drink most of their water in the evening because the day ran away from them. The result is a night of interruptions that slice your sleep into pieces. Front load your fluids earlier. In the last 2 hours, sip rather than gulp. If nighttime bathroom trips are a regular story, prop your legs on a cushion for 30 minutes in the late afternoon or after dinner to let ankle swelling empty back into the circulation earlier. Your kidneys can deal with that fluid before bedtime instead of at 2 a.m. If your clinician has you on a fluid limit or diuretics, follow their plan. Your goal is steadiness, not extremes. 60 minutes before bed, give your muscles their map. You are not going to work out, you are going to send a small, precise signal to the places you want to keep. Choose 3 joints: ankles, hips, and upper back. They decide how confidently you move tomorrow. Begin with 8 slow calf raises holding a counter. Rise for 3 counts, pause for 1, lower for 3, and keep your breathing easy. Then place your feet a little wider than your hips and sit back into 8 slow half squats, as if your hips are searching for a tall stool. Keep the range small and comfortable. This is not the gym. Finish with 8 slow wall angels. Stand with your back against a wall, ribs down, chin level, and slide your forearms up and down like you're making a gentle snow angel. If shoulders say no to the wall, perform the same motion, freestanding, slower and smaller. That is the mobility part. About 2 minutes, no sweat, only warmth. You've just told your ankles, knees, hips, and upper back that you plan to use them tomorrow. Now add the smallest dose of strength, your sleep sets. Choose 2 positions that load the thighs and glutes without adrenaline, a wall sit and a standing hip hinge hold. For the wall sit, place your back against the wall, slide down a little until your thighs feel engaged, and hold for 30 to 45 seconds, breathing quietly. You are not chasing burn, you are sending tension. Stand up slowly, shake your legs, and take 5 quiet breaths. Then step a foot length away from the counter. Hinge at your hips as if bowing. Place your hands lightly on the counter. Keep your back long and hold that position for 30 seconds. You should feel your backside working, not your lower back. Breathe normally. That's 1 round. Do 2 rounds if you feel good, 1 if you're tired, 3 if you already love this ritual. You're done in 5 to 7 minutes. You've reminded your body exactly where to invest, repair while you sleep. Thighs, hips, and postural muscles that keep you upright and steady. If your knees argue with wall sits, raise the angle, higher is friendlier, or perform a chair hover instead. Stand in front of a sturdy chair, hinge back until you hover an inch above the seat, and hold. If your back is sensitive, make the hinge very shallow and think long neck, soft jaw, not bend and brace. If balance is a concern, keep 1 fingertip on the counter at all times. Safety is part of the signal. Your nervous system will only allow repair if it feels safe. Directly after those sleep sets, walk the easiest 2 or 3 minutes of your day. Circle the hallway or your living room slowly. The movement clears metabolites, lowers the buzz from isometrics, and tells your heart that the effort is over. You will feel more ready to sit than to scroll. 45 to 60 minutes before bed, take a warm shower or soak your feet in warm water. The warmth brings blood to the skin. When you step into a cooler room afterward, your core temperature drops. That drop is a powerful sleep cue. The point is not luxury. It's physiology. If showers at night are not your style, a warm washcloth on your neck and a few minutes in a slightly cooler bedroom can mimic the effect. Quiet sleep is the single most potent recovery tool you own. This step guards the front door to deep sleep. Now feed the work you just requested. Muscles in later life respond best when the evening provides a slow trickle of building blocks rather than a sugar wave. Aim for a small, protein-centered snack with minimal added sugar and modest salt. Think Greek or soy yogurt with a spoon of ground flax or chia, cottage cheese with a few berries, a small glass of milk, or soy milk with a scoop of protein powder if your clinician says it fits your plan, tofu cubes tossed with olive oil and herbs, or a warm mug of milk with cinnamon and a handful of almonds. You are not trying to feel full. You are trying to give your bloodstream the amino acids your muscles need to rebuild while you sleep. If you live with reflux, keep the portion small and finish at least an hour before bed. If your kidneys need a personalized protein plan, follow your clinician's guidance. This step should respect your numbers, not ignore them. If you manage blood sugar, choose options with protein and minimal sugars. Your goal is stability through the night. 15 to 20 minutes before lights out, breathe your nervous system into the right gear. Sit with your back supported and your feet on the floor. Place 1 hand on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your hand rise. Exhale gently for a count of 6 or 7, feeling it fall. Do this for 5 minutes. The extended exhale tells your heart to settle, your blood vessels to relax, and your brain to release the worry list. Muscle protein synthesis happens in a body that feels safe. This is how you teach it safety. If your mind wanders, it's not failure, it's practice. Begin the next inhale when you notice. People often report warmer hands, softer shoulders, and a quieter face by the 3rd minute. That is your body switching from defend to repair. Then set the stage you will return to for months. Keep the bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. If your mouth tends to breathe at night, consider a humidifier at a modest setting. Dry air wakes you and tightens muscles, while gentle humidity keeps tissues comfortable. If you use CPAP for sleep apnea, check that the humidifier is filled and set correctly. A dry nose can make you abandon the mask at 3 a.m., and muscles hate fragmented sleep. If leg cramps visit at night, stretch calves for 30 seconds aside before you pull the covers up and keep your sheets loose at the foot of the bed so your toes aren't forced into a pointed position for hours. If late night pain disturbs you, arrange pillows now, not later. A small pillow between the knees for side sleepers. A thin pillow under the calves for back sleepers. Comfort is not indulgence, it's strategy. A few guardrails make this routine stronger. Alcohol blunts deep sleep and flattens the night's hormonal rhythm that normally favors repair. If you enjoy a drink, keep it modest and earlier in the evening, or choose most nights alcohol-free. Heavy, salty dinners load your system with fluid that wants to move at 2 a.m. and push your pressure up as you lie down. Let dinner be earlier and lighter. Make midday your richer meal if you can. Late-night screens are not just light. They are demands for attention. Attention is expensive. Reserve the last 15 minutes for something that lowers your heartbeat instead of raising it. A short paper book, soft music, a warm washcloth across your eyes, or a brief journal note about one thing your body did well today. A body praise does better work than a body criticized. Now let's talk about how this looks in lives that feel like yours, because plans matter only if they survive real evenings. Picture Nora, 68, who helps with grandkids most afternoons and found herself eating late, collapsing in a chair and waking 3 times a night. She believed sleep was a lost cause at her age. She chose 3 steps to begin. 2 rounds of wall sits and hinges, a small bowl of Greek yogurt with cinnamon and a few walnuts, and 5 minutes of slow breathing. She dimmed the lamps and left the kitchen light off after dinner. The first week she felt silly. The second week she noticed that her first sleep cycle felt deeper and that her legs didn't ache as much when she turned over. By the third week, standing from the low couch at her daughter's house was less of a negotiation. She had added nothing dramatic, just signals that a later life body respects. Imagine Carlos, 72, a former night owl who loves a good TV series and used to snack on crackers late. His thighs felt flat when he climbed stairs, and he blamed birthdays. He replaced the crackers with a small mug of warm milk and a handful of almonds, did 8 slow half squats and an easy wall, sit during the last commercial break, and walk the hallway for 2 minutes before brushing his teeth. He moved the last episode earlier in the evening and reserved 15 minutes for a book. 3 weeks later, he still watched his show. He simply stopped letting it borrow the hour his muscles needed to recover. He laughed at how small the changes were compared to how large the difference felt on morning steps. Consider May, 74, whose knees complained every night. She assumed that evening movement would inflame them. She learned to keep the range small and the speed slow. Her sleep sets were chair hovers at a very high angle for 30 seconds, repeated twice, and a shallow counter hinge. She finished with a warm shower and a scoop of soy yogurt with a sprinkle of pumpkin seeds. Nights grew calmer. Mornings stopped feeling like she needed handrails in her own kitchen. She didn't add a new identity. She replaced a fear with a pattern her joints could trust. Think of Daniel, 66, who lifted weights in his 40s, stopped, and now wanted to feel like himself again without returning to the gym. He made the routine a ritual with music, the same quiet song for breathing every night. He used a protein smoothie with milk and a small scoop of powder on nights when dinner had been light. On other nights, cottage cheese and berries. He set a reminder titled Future Legs for 45 minutes before bed. He smiled at the phrase even when he was tired, and that smile got him off the couch for 5 minutes of sleep sets. 2 months later, he noticed that he used the rail on stairs less out of fear and more out of preference. That was the win he wanted, not youth, but trust. If you're wondering, when will this show up as strength? The timeline is honest and encouraging. Sleep quality can shift in days. Morning stiffness usually eases within a week or 2 if you protect your first deep sleep and hydrate earlier. The sense of fullness in your thighs and glutes, less flat, more present, often arrives in 3 to 6 weeks if you're consistent with the sleep sets and the small protein snack. Steps feel surer, chair stands lighter, and the second flight of stairs less of a story. You may not measure muscle in a lab, but your life will measure it for you. Fewer saving steps, less reliance on hands to stand, better posture at the sink, easier carrying of a grocery bag across the parking lot. Those are the metrics that make independence feel safe. People ask about supplements at night. Keep it simple. If magnesium helps your sleep and your clinician agrees, choose a gentle form like magnesium glycinate taken earlier in the evening, not at the last minute. If you already take medications, ask about interactions. The routine should respect your plan, not complicate it. The anchor of this approach is not a pill, it is a pattern, brief tension to mark the muscles you want to keep, a modest protein trickle, and a protected first sleep cycle. These three elements, practiced most nights, outperform a dozen hacks. A few special cases deserve a word. If you live with diabetes, your snack should be modest and protein-centered. Focus on steady blood sugar through the night rather than sweet treats that disturb sleep and chemistry. If reflux bothers you, finish any snack at least an hour before bed and raise the head of the bed slightly. If you take a diuretic late in the day and wake often to urinate, ask whether morning dosing is possible for you. Never change on your own. If you use a cane or walker, position your sleep set holds with the device nearby and a stable surface at hand. Safety makes repetition possible, and repetition beats ambition. You may worry that doing something every night will become a chore. In reality, the routine opens space. It gives you a way to end the day on purpose rather than by momentum. A day that ends with intentional breath feels different than a day that ends with a last swipe. The win is not only in thicker thighs, it is in a quieter mind and a body that greets the morning like an ally. If you miss a night, nothing is lost. You are training for a season, not a day. Return tomorrow without apology. Bodies over 60 respond to the next wise choice, not to guilt. To make this routine stick, anchor it to something that already happens. Press start on the kettle and do your 2 minutes of mobility before the water boils. Set your phone to shift to warm colors automatically at the same time every night so your brain learns the cue without you thinking. Place your yogurt cup and a spoon on the front of the refrigerator shelf so the snack is visible and easy. Keep a sticky note on the bathroom mirror with the 3 words move, feed, breathe. That is the whole plan, and your brain will remember it better if it can see it in a single breath. If you're someone who loves to measure, pick one quiet metric. Count how many slow sits to stand you can do from a normal chair without using your hands, with good form before you begin. Check again in 3 weeks and in 6. Or notice the time it takes you to walk from your front door to the mailbox and back at a comfortable pace. These are not competitions. They are mirrors. They will show you what your evenings are building. Celebrate modest changes loudly. Muscles love encouragement. If I had to condense everything into one line you can put on your nightstand, it would be this. Send your muscles a clear signal before bed. Gentle tension, a small protein trickle, and a calm first sleep cycle. And they will spend the night repairing the strength you need for tomorrow. Before you turn off the light tonight, choose your starting 3. Dim the lamps an hour before bed. Do 2 rounds of wall sits and a gentle hip hinge hold. Eat a small protein-centered snack you enjoy. Sit for 5 minutes and breathe a little longer out than in. That is the whole story. If you feel like sharing, tell me in the comments which piece you chose and what changed in a week. Your story will help someone else begin. If this was useful, stay close to this community. We're building a library of simple science-backed routines that protect strength, circulation, balance, and confidence in the decades that matter most. Your muscles are still listening. Give them a bedtime worth remembering.